What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Espresso, and today we're going to be discussing Call of Duty 2016 once again. Now, for those worrying, do not worry. I'm still loving Black Ops 3, but I've got a few things that I want to bring to you guys and discuss over the next few days on the subject of 2016's Call of Duty. So some days we might discuss it, others maybe not. So for those that don't necessarily enjoy focusing on the future dead set ahead, don't worry, because we won't have too much of these, but for those that do like to look forward, we'll have something here for you guys to enjoy both ways. Either way, hopefully you enjoy this video, and if you do, drop a like down below if you do enjoy it at any point in time during this video. And if you guys are new, make sure you subscribe. So with that out of the way, let's discuss today's topic. It might not be the most alluring topic or the best pill to swallow here for some fans, but it's one we have to tackle in order to brace ourselves for whatever may come in the next title. That being the possibility of advanced movement in Call of Duty 2016. First and foremost, I myself have not had a problem with it, but all bias aside, I totally understand where people do not want it. They want traditional boots on the ground. This is perfectly logical to want, and we all can really probably rally around this in some way, shape, or form. However, the matter of the topic is much more complex than we oftentimes see in broad daylight. As much as we wish it, game dev is not as simple as, hey, the fans don't like this, let's not do this. Or, well, it is, but it's not immediate. So to understand the gravity of this statement and theory, remember this is all just a working theory, all speculation, we don't have anything confirmed at this point in time, but we must go back to the days of Modern Warfare 3. This might be a little bit all over the place, so bear with me here with this explanation, but Modern Warfare 3, by this time, it was the franchise's 14th title. I know that might sound way off, but trust me, it's legit. We have Call of Duty United Offensive, Finest Hour, Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 2, Big Red 1, Call of Duty 3, Roads to Victory, Modern Warfare, World at War, Final Fronts for PlayStation 2, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare Mobilized for the DS, Black Ops, and finally Modern Warfare 3. So taking all the major games, we can probably whittle that down to say 10 titles, but still by 2011, the 10th major title to the franchise, and as Fallout would say, war never changes. So for, at the time, nearly a decade of the same game over and over, you could see it was time for a slight change, whether that be from a fan's perspective or from a game dev perspective. Fans by this time said that COD was getting boring and the same thing over and over, something that you guys may not necessarily admit to it, seeing that where we went now might not be the best alternate avenue here, but the fact still stood firm here that players and developers could see a clear need for a slight curveball while still holding true to the nature of the franchise. Enter Sledgehammer Games. This is when it all really starts to fall in place. Now, 2011 was conveniently the year that they had their hands on the franchise's annual release as well. This was their first time making bits of the game, and if I'm not mistaken, it was the campaign that Sledgehammer made, which you could kind of see a slight disconnect from the way that the story was told in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare, but that's kind of besides the point. But it was a collaborative effort and still was a work of art. However, the necessity for Sledgehammer's work came out of just that, necessity. At this point, the franchise operated on an annual release, but with alternating years. Each dev only had 2 years to build a full game for release. Now, from a consumer standpoint, that's absolutely awesome, because say you love Call of Duty Zombies. If that was the case, then you only needed to wait 1 alternate year rather than 2 off like we do have now with this current cycle. From a game dev perspective, it's absolute hell. There's a reason the massive cult following franchises, like again, we'll use Fallout here as an example, take years upon years in between games. Using Fallout as this example, Fallout 4 came out late last year in 2015, with their previous title being Fallout New Vegas in 2010, which wasn't even by Bethesda here. Their last title came out for the franchise in 2008 with Fallout 3. So that's 7 years in between. Why? Because in order to build a complete game with immersive content, various ways to hook a player, and just to make the game absolutely brilliant, it takes time. Now, Fallout and Call of Duty are apples and oranges, so comparing them in terms of content is completely trivial, but the game dev cycle is something that is still relevant there and that we can use to understand just how time-based this process really is. So at this time of Modern Warfare 3's development, Infinity Ward was under tight time constraints, especially with the lawsuits on West and Zampella versus Activision. So this whole thing was very, very tight on time, and therefore the help of Sledgehammer Games and Raven Studios was employed. Activision then rewarded Sledgehammer Games, whether or not directly or indirectly because of the help on Modern Warfare 3 and getting the game right on time. They gave them the chance to work on their own title here, and this is when the Great Divide happens. This is where everything key now takes place in our advanced movement section. At this point, we know that Sledgehammer started working on a game that would later be revealed to be Advanced Warfare, the first title to introduce a new movement system with exosuits. And this is exactly the change up that Activision had passed word about and gave the green light to for production, thus ushering in a new era of Call of Duty that we now see to this day. The only downside is that it's not exactly what the community was enthralled with. So the big pieces that we must discuss now come in chronological events and how they came to be. 2011, Activision once again rewarded Sledgehammer with their own title. They then started to develop the early phases of the game with the tasks to make something different, presumably the idea of a new movement mechanic, which is a huge gamble on Activision's position, but it's one they had to take. 2012, Black Ops 2 was released and Sledgehammer was still working in the shadows. Now 2013, this is where it all starts to come out. Ghost is released and the announcement of Sledgehammer's IP to the franchise would follow shortly thereafter the game's launch and then showcase a 3-year development cycle to where we are now. This is in early 2014 where things started to act up a little bit. Fans had mixed reviews after initially seeing what the game would play like. However, with this now revealed to the world, Treyarch had already started on their next title with the green light for the same movement changes for their next title hitting the shelves in 2015. Once Advanced Warfare released in late 2014, that's when players really lost their minds and the memes like Fave for No Exos and other ones like that arose. This then created a huge tidal wave of requests to go back to boots on the ground, even back to the World War II era even. But we know that obviously this did not happen for Black Ops 3, but now the real question, what about Call of Duty 2016? Call of Duty 2016 is going to be released by Infinity Ward, coming out in presumably early November like all the other recent titles, but its development started as early as 2013, and if you compare that to when Advanced Warfare, the initial Advanced Movement title, was released, there's still a 1-year difference and a 1-year gap here. Activision more than likely greenlit the idea of Advanced Movement for a 3-year development cycle because they had no idea how it would be received until the first title launched. 2013, the game was starting in development, and even for a good portion of 2014, we didn't know what the movement system would be received like. That's something that, even if we go back to the 2-year studio, that's not even full-time on a 2-year development cycle. Had Infinity Ward completely changed their ways immediately after Advanced Warfare launched to break a cycle of what would be complaints for the next 2 titles, they wouldn't nearly have enough time to finish here within this 3-year development cycle. That's over a year and a half gone that they could have used to make their game with Advanced Movement had they already started with that. So to start that far and then start over, it's either one, not going to happen, or you're going to get a horrible product. It's one of those 2 options here. So assuming that the green light was set for Infinity Ward as well during this 3-year development period, we probably will be seeing Advanced Movement here in Call of Duty 2016, whether that be exos, thrust boosts, whatever it may be, something maybe completely different. I don't see that we're going to be going back to boots on the ground here for Call of Duty 2016 just yet. Advanced Warfare 2, assuming there is one, might continue the Advanced Movement system here with this, but Treyarch's next title, Black Ops 4, which probably won't happen. If it is a new IP or something like that, it would definitely make sense to go back to boots on the ground then. And honestly, I think that we might be getting a World War II game with Treyarch's next title. So that itself is a little bit besides the point, but that's where we're going to wrap this video up here today, ladies and gentlemen. For these reasons we talked about here today, I firmly believe that we'll see at least one more year of Advanced Movement, whether that might be something you like or not. That's just the way that I think it's going to be. I am personally on the fence. I could go either way. It does not bother me one way or the other, but it does kind of suck for those people that do not like this at all. So that's going to wrap it up. Leave your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Seriously, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you want to see Advanced Movement? Do you not? Do you hate it? Do you love it? What is it that you feel about this movement system? Honestly, anything that you guys want to leave down there in the comments is always welcomed. And if you guys did make it this far, firstly, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you guys did like this video, be sure to like, rating down below. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. We're on that road to 30,000 subscribers, so every little bit does help, and it's, as always, greatly appreciated. My name is MrFijiWiji. I will see you guys later. Take care, and peace.